We were going to try to talk about the Super Bowl, but I don't think...
Who cares?
It doesn't have the buzz this year, really.
It's probably going to be one of the lowest rated ever. It's going to be one of those things. No one cares. Everyone's broke. They're more, worried about their own jobs than stupid football game.
We're still having the Super Bowl. I think it's a sign we're
okay.
We're okay.
All right.
Yeah, there's a lot of fat we could trim that we haven't yet. Like, we're not doing that. People are panicking. But
like emotional fat?
I mean, like, we still have huge mountains of stuff we could lose before we're even close to being like Canada, even. Before we're anywhere near a normal country. Before we stop being the gilded city on the hill.
Right.
I mean, we have hot dog eating contests and funny car races. We're fine.
Yeah, until that stuff starts going away.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
No, the Super Bowl with fireworks and some idiot's going to play in the halftime. And
we're going to make we love the commercial.
Yeah, and all the girls are going to spell something out with their vaginas. We're fine.
We got to start panicking when those things go away.
Yeah, that's a lot between that and everybody having a donkey with pots clanging on the sides and a blanket.
You notice the homeless out there, though, Lou?
There are a lot. Well, and
our population's grown a little bit in the last couple of months.
Yeah. They're overnight homeless. I figured out who some of these guys are, seriously, because I was on 14th Street and I was actually high on marijuana pot, which I never do.
Were you really, though?
I was really high.
Are you back on the dope?
I never get high. I don't even drink. If I go drinking, I'll have half a beer and everybody makes fun of me and then I hide it somewhere.
Crazy.
I can't do any of that stuff. But I went to see my friend Doug Benson, a comedian who's is a giant joint. And
he loves his pot, that guy.
Yeah, so I went and hung out with him and I got high and then I need to get away from people right away because I'm high and I can't cope with people. And I just don't like the way my mouth and hands feel or look. And I get upset. Yeah. People are looking at my mouth and hands. So I go and
Such a pot thing.
Yeah. But so I go to the meatpacking 14th Street, I just want to look at people, but I don't, because I also don't want to be alone because I'll kill myself.
Don't interact, though.
Yeah, I don't want to interact, exactly.
You go to the meatpacking district, then you don't like how your mouth and hands look. It's around the hog of a tranny.
Yeah, exactly.
I hear you.
But that's now a big teeming nightclub scene. It's crazy now.
Huge.
So I'm watching people walking around and fights starting, and it's kind of interesting. And there's a homeless guy perched on a mailbox like a crow, literally crouched.
Really?
And he says, can I have some, and he asked me for money, and I looked at him because he looked like fresh homeless.
Looked a little too clean.
Yeah, he didn't have that many layers on him. Like, he hadn't slept on that many nights out or anything, and so I asked him about his life and stuff, and he was Pakistani, and he worked for the city as a janitor, and he said, just matter of fact, he says, I have a problem where I see snails on my hands and arms. And I need to cut them. And then I start to scream, and I can't really keep a job when I'm like that. But I've got medication that keeps that from happening. Like, he didn't say there are snails in my arms. He says, I see that sometimes. He knows it's not there.
That would have freaked me out.
But he really believes it when he sees it. So he takes pills that stave it off.
Did you work in a French restaurant, Lou?
It was like, those were snails. So that was horrible. So the city cut prescription drug benefits. They just cut them because, Bloomberg's slashing.
And then here come the snails.
And so here come the snails, and it takes him 2 days to get fired. 2 days with the screaming and slashing his own arms, and he's gone.
That'll do it.
That's it. So, but he was otherwise, and he had in his bag, he had a lot of these, all his toiletries and clothes. Like, he was trying to take care of himself. He just anyway, and then I kept running into homeless guys who looked okay and seemed the same kind of borderline. One guy stopped, and I had a Red Sox hat on, and he goes, Red Sox, and he knew everything about the trades and stuff. I'm like, this guy's watching television somewhere. When you like a homeless guy who's chatting with you about Lost, and you're like, this guy's
he's going to be okay.
Yeah, he's all right. Yeah. But then as he's talking to me about the Red Sox, then he starts twitching and going, bitch, and then he ran away, and I'm like, oh, poor guy. That guy's he's 2 pills away from being fine. But those pills cost like $1,000 each because this is the cruelest country in the world. So those are overnight, like 1 day of prescription drugs going down in the city. and then 50,000 homeless people with the exact same problem.
I'm with you. I love talking to homeless guys. I love it.
Who's more fascinating?
It's like watching a movie.
Yep.
You don't know what you're gonna get.
Their
You gotta
story
watch
is
their
going
hands so they don't stab you or anything.
Yep.
But besides that,
their stories are definitely going to be more interesting than most of the idiots that you love in life. People that I literally feel love for.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
But that guy, really? Snails in here? That he's from Pakistan. He also had a really interesting story because he came over here when he was 12 years old. This is how a lot of immigration, this is how legal immigration works. His Pakistani family owns like 10 gas stations in Queens, and his distant uncle, paid for him to come, sponsored him to come to the United States, took care of all of his legal work, got him a green card. And to pay for that, he works in the gas station from 12 years old till 18.
Right.
Lives in the basement of the gas station.
Yeah.
Literally lived in. I'm like, gas stations have basements.
Yeah, wait a minute.
I lived in the basement. It's just a bed and a lamp, and he just sleeps, pumps gas, pump gas, slave labor for 6 years.
Maximum overdrive.
Yeah, and then when he gets to 18, go hit the streets. And that's the life of a lot of these guys.
Why such a slow animal on him? Why couldn't he have had a faster animal? I mean, can't you get away from snails, you idiot? Walk away from them.
That was bugging me. The fact that it's snails. That story, that's the one thing that bothered me.
It might have been worms. I don't remember.
Should have thrown warm butter on them.
Snails.
They can't even really stay attached
It's kind of creepy.
No.
You just push them over.
Ew.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's not even leeches,
slimy.
you know?
Well, you get that feeling in your body, I guess, without those pills. You just
That's gotta suck.
You get mad at this. Yeah.
You're right on.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah, gross.
I need a pill.
Why don't they be homeless then where there's health care? Like Canada.
Well, because they had health care for a minute. They had the pills here, and then they didn't.
Like the second you get laid off then. And
the second you laid off, you look at your bottle, you look at your little amber bottle, and you go, that's how much time I got left before.
0 refills.
I'm worthless.
And then run up to Canada.
Yeah.
And get it there.
That's gotta suck if subconsciously all right, I'm sane as long as there's as long as I got the pills in this bottle.
There it is. Here's my sanity.
No, and what happens? You take that last pill, going,
here they come.
Here come the snails. That's I'd rather be crazy and not know it.
That's exactly
because there are people out there that are crazy and they understand it.
Well, because they're underwater. The guys who don't know it are guys who just never got diagnosed or never got. This guy took care of himself.
Yeah.
And then he just knows. He goes, imagine that. Going I know they're not real, but I'm not going to know they're not real.
Yeah, it's like flowers
in an hour.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Exactly.
My dad was one of these guys that had to help everybody, and he took in a lot of people, and a lot of these people were exactly what you just described. And there'd just be crazy crap happening in the house, and we'd have to call their family. Oh, I guess he's off his medication again.
Yeah.
Go in his room, find whatever the medication was, force it down his throat, and he'll be okay.
You're trying to kill me with poison.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, dude.
It's like, why are we dealing with this guy's problem?
A half an hour, you'll be like, hey, what's up?
He's like, hey, thanks for giving me that poison. I feel better.
I really needed that.
But we would be, in a panic.
You're with the CIA, and you're...
We had one of those.
Really?
We had one where he was convinced we worked for the government and that we were following him. And he would go at it with my brother all the time. Like, I know you're with the FBI, CIA. You're following me. I don't want you following me anymore. My brother loses it. Like, look, I'm their son. This is my house. I grew up here. I'm doing some work around the house. I'm not following you.
Yeah.
So fast forward about a week. My brother's up in the attic. And he's doing some stuff. He's doing some repair work. And he puts his foot through the ceiling. And he looks through the hole, and there's the guy looking up like, see, I told you!
Oh, no.
True story.
Oh, no.
I told you, you're following me.
I've always wanted to do that to those people. Like, when I worked at Conan, I worked at 30 Rock, and there was my window looked out over this little plaza, and there was this crazy, wild, bearded man who would stand there with a Bible all day. Nice. He smelled like you could smell him from a long time.
Yeah.
And he'd do, God said, this is the day. I'm here to tell everybody. And we started fantasizing about getting, like, painting a car certain colors or something and, like, pulling up and saying, you're right, get in, let's go. We got to get going. Just totally fulfilling all this craziness. Wear some, like, show him a badge and go, you're right, the president needs to see you right now.
I knew it.
Oh, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, how would they react to that? Like a crazy person?
Well, I got my stuff in a cart around the corner, though.
Just throw him on Conan like that.
Yeah, exactly.
To tell his story.
Hey,